Hey guys, so today I want to talk about my experience being a stay-at-home dad, um, the things that have been difficult, the things that I'm loving about it, and then what I feel about the stigma surrounding being a stay-at-home dad. So first off, I'm staying home with Nova because we decided that was the best thing for our family right now. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be forever, but that's where we're at right now. Some of the things that are a lot more difficult than I was expecting them to be is how flustering it can be to take care of a baby all day long. I don't know if he's going to wake up and be happy and want to play all day long and just be in a good mood, and that happens. Some days he's gonna wake up and he's just miserable and he's crying and he's sad, and right now he's teething, so it's extra hard, and he just wants to be held all day. And those days are hard. Noah needs a lot of attention. He needs all the attention all the time. He might play on his own for maybe an hour or two throughout the day, and the rest of the time he needs attention. And that's exhausting. It's tiring, and you don't have a choice. There's no, like, I don't feel like it. Like, I don't feel like it doesn't exist anymore. Like, your kid needs you, and you have to get over yourself and do what you have to do to take care of your kid. And I definitely have a newfound appreciation for parents that stay at home with their kids their whole lives. For me, I didn't realize how much I needed to see the rewards of what I was doing. For instance, when you have a 9 to 5, when you work, you clock in at whatever time, you clock out at whatever time, you see the hours you're putting in, it's on paper every week or 2 weeks or whenever, you see a paycheck. That's a direct reflection of the work that you put in. When you're a stay-at-home parent, there isn't that monetary, physical reward. There's rewards. I'm not saying it's not rewarding. It's one of the most rewarding things that I can think of. But you have to be looking for and aware of what those rewards are, and you have to learn to appreciate them for what they are. So, for me, Nova's learning to walk right now. Yesterday, he took 6 steps, and prior to that he had 4 was the most he had taken, and that was like, it was so cool to be able to watch him do that. And he took those 6 steps and he sat down, and I clapped, and he clapped, and he smiled, and then he stood up and he tried to walk again, and he just did it over and over and over, and it was so fun to watch him get excited about walking. And like, he saw that I was excited, so that made him more excited, and he just kept wanting me to clap for him every time he walked, and it's the little moments like that that are your rewards. For me, I've been cleaning the house, I've been doing laundry, I've been trying to keep up on chores, and again, that's another rewarding thing. At the end of my day, the house is clean, the laundry's done, and I can relax, and I know that I accomplished something that day. And that's a lot easier said than done on some days. Mind you, I have not been doing this for very long, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot more difficult things that are going to come about. I know there are. This is just my experience thus far. And so being aware of those things has been a huge positive for me. It's made things a lot easier. It's made me a lot more content and happy with myself at the end of the day. And I don't think a lot of people do that. Maybe they do, but not that I've seen. And again, just shout out to all the stay-at-home parents. Like, I'm proud of you guys. I know it's hard. Keep pushing through. It's worth it. If you're struggling, you got this, I promise. your kid comes first, you know. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the stigma around being a stay-at-home dad. That's something that I struggled with when we were first deciding to make that switch. The dad, the father, the male is supposed to be the breadwinner, you know, supposed to bring home the paychecks. He's supposed to financially take care of the family. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's an idea that belongs in 1950 because it makes it so much harder when, even if you know that you're doing the right thing and even if you feel good about what you're doing, that awareness that other people, maybe even friends and family, are looking down on you for staying home and thinking that you're less than because you stayed at home, it makes it hard. It messes with your head a little bit. I know it did for me. I'm not gonna call anybody out, but just this idea of because you're a certain gender, you're supposed to be doing certain things is ridiculous. I don't agree with it. If you are someone that pushes that or makes someone feel less than for doing that, like, first off, you probably never stayed at home with a kid for any amount of time. And if you have, I don't even know, take a look in the mirror, think about what you're doing, think about the way that you're making these people feel. Guys have it hard enough as far as expectations and the way you're supposed to live your life, and you're supposed to be strong, and you're supposed to be this and that and this, and like, we just need more people to be accepting and loving and understanding and knowing that hopefully those parents have their kids' best interest in mind, and that they didn't make that decision lightly, that they knew that that was what was best for their family. And I would really encourage you to encourage them, to reach out to them, to ask them how they're doing, to tell them that you're proud of them for stepping up, because it is stepping up. Kai's stepping up, working 8-hour shifts, 9-hour shifts. Like, props to her. I know she's exhausted when she gets home. Like, I get it. Especially such a sudden shift from staying at home to working full-time. So just generally speaking, don't beat down on people because you don't agree with what they're doing, that you don't agree with the choices they're making, because you're not in their shoes. You don't know where they're at, what they're struggling with, and to just blindly beat people down is not, it's not okay. It's not helping anything. It's making everything worse. And if it's someone that's close to you, you're pushing them away. You're putting a block in your guys' relationship, and I don't think anybody wants that to happen. I love being a stay-at-home dad. I love it. Hanging out with Nova and watching him play and watching him learn and watching him learn to communicate with sounds and body language and pointing is that's the greatest thing. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I guess I'll end by repeating myself one more time. Encourage new parents, young parents, stay-at-home parents. Show them love, show them support, let them know that you're in their corner and that you want the best for them, because I promise you they will appreciate it. I promise you that a lot of them really need to hear it. For parents with older kids that are having kids now, that may not remember what it's like to be a new parent, like, get off of your high horse and remember what it was like to be young with a baby. And just take a second to think about how they're feeling before you try and push your agenda and your feelings on them, because it's not helping. They just need to be shown love. They just need to be shown support.